Okay, so as promised, I'm gonna try to fix Secret Invasion. But after looking at the show and then kind of looking through all of Phase 4, I got the idea. Maybe I can fix Secret Invasion and kind of sort of fix Phase 4 while I'm at it. So, in order to fix Secret Invasion, I've had to go back and review all of the Phase 4 content. And I'm gonna make some changes to the Phase 4 content to hopefully make for a better Secret Invasion experience. So, right now, I'm going through all the movies and TV shows starting with Black Widow. Now, some of these won't have any changes because I'm just kind of gonna not address the movie or the TV show, and others are. So, I'll let you know what I'm changing when I change it. And don't expect huge changes, but just enough changes to make some difference in terms of Secret Invasion, put some nuggets of extra content in there to try to salvage the story. So, without further ado, let's get to Black Widow, which is first on the list. And I know Black Widow is a prequel, so it should be obvious that this is taking place afterwards in that after credit scene. After the scene with Yelena and Victoria at Natasha's grave, they'll pretty much leave like I guess they did in the movie. But after they leave, a man walks up to the tombstone and places a hand on it. He says, "I really could have used your help on this one, Natasha. You would have been perfect for this mission." He says this and the camera pans up to show a visibly upset Nick Fury. He stands there a few minutes before getting an alert from Maria Hill, letting him know that there's a situation in Westview that requires his attention. He reminds her that they have more pressing things to worry about before she tells him, "Sir, it's Maximoff." He sighs and takes his leave. Okay, now for WandaVision. Largely, WandaVision will stay the same with a few additions. Instead of a Skrull being the person to bring Monica Rambeau to that theater, it's Maria Hill. There, they find Nick Fury sitting in one of the chairs with popcorn. He tells one of his old stories about back in the day. The popcorn was better and you got more for your money. You know, the stories that Nick Fury always tells. When Monica inquires about what he wants, he tells her that he needs her for a special mission. There's a threat on Earth in the form of shapeshifters. He's still working on the countermeasures of dealing with them, but he believes Monica will be a great help, especially given that she now has abilities. When Monica asks how many shapeshifters there are, Fury simply says, "We'll be in touch," as he gives her a communicator. Before he leaves, he tells her, "Trust no one." When she asks what about him, he smiles and says, "You're a quick learner. Keep that communicator on you at all times. You'll be briefed soon enough." Okay, now for the Falcon and Winter Soldier. In Falcon and Winter Soldier, we have a bit of a situation. We know that the MCU's Secret Invasion said that Rhodey was a Skrull. We just don't know how long. I'm going to keep in line with that bit of information, but there will be some changes. First and foremost, we're going to go ahead and say now that Rhodey was swapped after Endgame, so let's go ahead and take care of that glaring issue right there. The majority of Falcon and Winter Soldier will be unchanged. However, there will be a scene in the middle of the show when Sam is still hesitant about taking the shield. Fury's gonna visit him at his home one evening. He'll give one of his Fury pep talks like he did Stark in Age of Ultron to get Sam to finally take on the mantle of Captain America. Before Fury leaves, Sam asks why he took out the time to help him. Fury turns and then tells him he's gonna need Captain America for the coming battles. He then tells Sam that all of his allies aren't actually his allies. Fury tells him that the Earth is compromised right down to their very government. When Sam inquires about who Fury is talking about, Fury tells him not to share any vital information with anyone in the government, especially Rhodey. Before Sam can ask any further questions, Fury hands him two communicators. He tells him to trust no one but Barnes, and to give Barnes the other communicator. He then takes his leave. A confused Sam looks at the communicators, then to the shield with new resolve. We now skip to the after credits of the season finale. We see Sharon Carter go into a secret room to make a phone call. She then says, "Yes, good, it's all going according to plan." Her skin slowly changes to a green color and her hair changes black. She turns and we see the face of a female Skrull smirking at the camera before it turns black. Our next stop is at Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. We're skipping Loki and What If because each of those seasons are basically kind of their own contained thing and they're not really gonna have room for anything going on with Skrulls right now. They're kind of their own separated story. So with Shang-Chi, again, I'm not going to change too much. All that's going to change is that in the after credit scene of Shang-Chi, he's going to get a knock at his door. When he answers it, it's Monica Rambeau and Maria Hill. Maria says, I understand you have some interesting jewelry. And that's pretty much the only change that we're going to make to Shang-Chi. Don't worry, all this is going to kind of make sense later. The next movie on the list is Eternals, and again, it's its own contained thing, so the Eternals aren't really going to have a stake in this story, so we're going to move right on along to Hawkeye. A few changes in Hawkeye. A lot of people were upset at the portrayal of Kingpin in the show, so to fix that, we're going to say that Echo did in fact pull that trigger on Kingpin. However, she was shocked to find out that he transformed into a green alien afterwards. As she leaves, a mysterious woman appears from the shadows. She presses a button on her headset. She then says, Sir, you are right. Fisk was definitely a Skrull. He's been terminated now. Fury responds. The woman then asks if she's to go after the girl. Fury answers, No, Agent Johnson. Report back to the base and bring that Skrull with you. We'll regroup there. Roger, Daisy Johnson says as she grabs the Skrull. Later, after Barton brings Kate Bishop to his house for the holidays, his family time is interrupted by Fury. Clint insists to Fury that he's retired. I know, Clint. I know. And you should know I wouldn't be here if it weren't of crucial importance. But don't worry, I'm going to keep you as far away from the coming battle as possible. I've got a job for you. You're the only one I trust to do it. Okay. Now we're going to move along to Spider-Man No Way Home. And while there's not going to be a huge change here, because Spider-Man is basically perfect as is, I'm going to pretty much add something to the after credit scene. So, after Peter's swing sequence at the close of the movie, we'll have a post-credit scene. He returns to his apartment through the window and sees Ned tied up on his bed, struggling. Ned looks up at Peter and screams for Peter to help him. He says that man over there is crazy. Peter looks across the room to see Nick Fury holding a gun on Ned. About time you showed up, Parker, Fury says. What are you doing here? Let Ned go, Peter responds. I figured you wouldn't listen unless I gave you a little demonstration, Fury said as he pulls the trigger and shoots Ned in the chest. Peter yells and leaps at Fury, but is knocked back by a force field. Fury shakes his head. You still got a lot to learn, kid. Like, for example, did it occur to you that your buddy here just called you by name? Wasn't the world supposed to forget Peter Parker? Peter pauses and looks back at Ned, who is now green. Your friend has been replaced, Parker. We've been invaded by Skrulls, shape-shifting aliens, and I need your help to save this world again. Peter looks at Fury. How do you remember? Fury smiles. I'm Nick Fury. I'm prepared for anything. Even magic spells that mess with your head. So, are you in? Peter looks at Ned and back at Fury. They got Ned? He asks. They do, Fury says. Then I'm in, Peter responds. Now, quick disclaimer. I know some of you may be asking how the Skrulls wouldn't have been affected by the spell, but I'm taking liberties with the fact that they're aliens and they have alien technology that will probably have stored memories in them. The Skrull probably would have forgot its objective and then returned to base to figure out what it was supposed to be doing again. So that's my answer for him remembering that Peter Parker was Spider-Man. And in terms of Fury, well, it's Fury, okay? I know that's like the cop-out answer, but it's Fury. It's Nick Fury, just like because he's Batman, because he's Nick Fury. So we're just going to say that Nick Fury had some type of, magic item that he gained for some sorcerer that he met some time ago, and we're gonna kind of keep it at that. So let's go ahead and move to our next change. The next project in the MCU slate is Moon Knight. Again, this is a pretty self-contained story, so there's not going to be any changes here. The next movie, however, will have a slight change. The next movie is Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Now, again, Fury's not going to really appear throughout this movie. He's not going to have too much to do with it because Doctor Strange is universe hopping, so Fury really isn't going to be able to chase him through the multiverse. But one thing that does happen is that in the after credits, Strange would be approached by Fury, but he would tell him that he has more pressing matters to take care of. He would, however, give Fury a magical item that would help him distinguish between who is a Skrull and who isn't, an item that glows when near a Skrull. This will be important later on. The next project is Ms. Marvel. Again, no real changes to that. Ms. Marvel is kind of contained just like Moon Knight. The next project in the MCU slate is She-Hulk. Now, shockingly, She-Hulk does have a role here. We know that both Hulk and Daredevil are present in She-Hulk, and that's where we're headed. In the season finale of She-Hulk, they have this big dinner where Bruce and Scar arrive to greet everybody. Well, in this scenario, not long after Bruce and Scar arrive, Nick Fury shows up with Monica Rambeau. Fury tells Banner that they are needed for a new threat on Earth, one that will need the strength of a few Hulks. Banner asks what can need more than one Hulk. Fury ignores this and looks at Matt Murdock. "I can use you too, Murdock. Your special skills could come in handy." Matt's expression simply changes from a smile to a slight frown as he nods. Okay, and that is it for the She-Hulk portion. The next project is Thor: Love and Thunder. Again, no changes as Thor is in space doing Thor things. The next project is Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Okay, so my Black Panther change may anger some of you, and some of you may be on board. Who knows? It depends on your take on all this. Firstly, yes, there will be a Skrull in this movie. Secondly, no, it will not be T'Challa. Okay, now let's continue. Once Namor floods the throne room and drowns the queen, she turns green, signifying that yes, even Wakanda has been infiltrated by Skrulls. A distraught Shuri believes that Namor had something to do with this. This gives her the motivation to take the herb and find out what happened to Ramonda. She battles Namor only to find out he has no idea where she is. The movie concludes the same way with her meeting T'Challa's child. But there is an after credit scene. A massive sound wave goes off in the jungle. When they investigate, they find a man in a Black Panther outfit walking out of a crater. He looks up at them and says, "Stand down. I am King T'Challa, and I am here to warn you of a coming danger." Okay, so to let you all know, this T'Challa is from another universe. We know from Doctor Strange that incursions are about to start, meaning multiverse shenanigans. This is my fix for T'Challa, not T'Challa Jr., just T'Challa as Black Panther. And I think it's a good fix because a lot of people wanted a actual, standalone just T'Challa, not a child, a made up T'Challa Jr. to come in. This is something that I've been really wanting to talk about on the channel for a while. I just hadn't yet. But honestly, I just feel like they should have just gotten a new T'Challa, no disrespect. But there are reasons and there are story reasons as to why T'Challa should have stuck around. So this is just kind of a workaround. And then along with that, we do know that phase 5 forward is dealing with the multiverse. Editing Obi-Wan here. Hey, sorry, I had to add this because I didn't realize I didn't say it in my original recording. But there's no bait for the next movie, right? We always have this cliffhanger scene to get you excited. So I'm gonna have to put 2 after credit scenes in Black Panther because that's pretty much where phase 4 stopped. So after the T'Challa scene, there's one other scene that we're gonna add to this. Now, we see a huge room with large pods in it. One pod opens and the Skrull takes a breath and walks out. The Skrull approaches a male Skrull and the same female Skrull posing as Sharon Carter. The female motions for the Skrull to keep walking. She turns to the male Skrull and says, "Is everything prepared, Gravik?" He tells her that they are prepared for phase 2 of the plan. She asks him how far they are from phase 3. He tells her the only way to get to phase 3 is to find out what Fury knows. She nods and tells him to proceed with Operation EMH. He nods and begins typing on a computer system behind him. The camera pans up to show the screen, which reads Hulk. And that is basically the second after credit scene and also the hook for the next thing coming in this series. So I had to make sure I said that. We're going to get back to my original recording now, but I want to make sure you all heard that bit of information. So carry on. So the point of all this is phase 4, as we all know, did not have an Avengers movie. And each of the 3 phases prior to had an Avengers movie to cap it off. With the changes that I've made, there will be an Avengers movie for phase 4. And as I'm sure you've been able to tell, it's going to be Avengers Secret Invasion. That's why I put these pieces in these different movies and these different TV shows. I have a lineup of Avengers that I'm going to have taking on the Skrulls. Now, the Avengers portion of this video is not going to be, well, in this video. It's going to have a video to itself because I want to make sure I do it justice. This is all the setup. So, this is basically the fix for Secret Invasion Part 1. Part 2 will be, again, like I said, Avengers Secret Invasion. So, please be on the lookout for that. This took a lot of research. It took a lot of research. And it took a lot of thinking and brainstorming to try to put these pieces into the story. So I really hope you like it, and I hope you're looking forward to the Avengers Secret Invasion story that I'm putting together next. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this. Look, please share this video with everybody because this is my first time doing a lot of, I guess, creative changes to the stories, a what if you will. And I would like to know what all your feedback is, so drop a comment, send it to people. So I can get a lot of feedback so I can figure out how I can make it even better, because I hope you enjoyed this one. So again, hit that like button, drop a comment, please subscribe if you're new, and remember, we have the high ground. Catch you later.